So a little update here. It's been a long time, and man, I sort of feel bad I haven't done a vlog or anything like that. I just haven't really been sure how to put one of those together exactly to show you something meaningful. But anyway, the build is going along quite well for the X299 system. Ran into some little problems that I'm still working out. We'll touch more on those later at a later time. However, the GTX 1080 Ti has arrived. It is sitting here on my desk at the moment. I've gotten the SC2 hybrid, so I can't wait to put this to good use. Let me go ahead and open it up. Thanks for bearing with the vloggy style of filming here today. And right inside, there's a nice little envelope with all of the documents, as well as some stickers and other miscellaneous stuff. And right here is the GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. My 1080 Ti is the SC2 from EVGA, and the SC2 hybrid has the 120mm radiator attached to it. So I'll go ahead and try to take this out here. Sorry about this. My unboxing skills are not very good. I just try not to damage anything when I take it out of the package. They had this kind of wrapped around itself for convenient packaging. But over here we have the 120mm radiator with its included fan. And I really love this. They included on this model, this is why I picked this one instead of the Seahawk, because the Seahawk was one that I was looking at as well. The Seahawk, the control wire was integrated into the tubing itself, and this one is separate with a separate standard fan PWM controller wire. So if this fan dies, or if I just want to change it with something else, I can do that quickly and easily and still let the card itself control the fan, which is really cool and a really nice function that I thought anyway. When I was looking at this thing, here I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the bag, this anti-static bag. Well, they were pretty adamantly clear about electrostatic sensitivity on here. Epic failing on my part though, trying to unbox this. So now we're ready to finally unveil the graphics card itself, and that sticker material's gotten stuck again. And for the first time, I guess it's still wrapped in more plastic. For the first time though, this thing sees the light of day. My camera will focus. 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 Alright, well, hopefully the hybrid cooler between the blower style shroud and the water block that's on here connected to its respective radiator will be able to get some pretty darn decent cooling, along with the ACX 9 thermal sensors that are included on the EVGA hybrid card. You can see here it has the two extra pin connectors. It looks like a 6-pin and an 8-pin right here. So that's pretty nice. And eventually for the build I'm going to be getting some custom sleeve cables. However, I'm just trying to get it functional first of all, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it looks pretty darn nice. And the back plate looks pretty decent as well. Will be nice to see that without the plastic wrap on there later on. Oh, and as for I/O, oh look, they even included this. They even included this little connector thing, PCIe connector rubber thing on there. That's pretty nice. Kind of protect your pins right there. Okay, looks like we've got a DVI. Looks like DisplayPort, DisplayPort, DisplayPort. In the middle here is a little HDMI port. So, all in all, looks pretty nice. Also, in case you wanted to see an update on what the system looks like in its current state, it's coming along pretty well. Let me just take this little cover off here. Alright, so I've been building inside of the Corsair 780T, and it's a pretty nice case to build in, I should say. We've got right here 1,500 watt Intermax Max Revo power supply, which I thought came with all black cables, as the box would say, which they are sleeved nicely for the middle portion, but it has these ugly ketchup and mustard type of cables poking out at either end, which you can see there and there. So that's why, like I said before, I'd like to get some custom sleeve cables for this build later on. But these cables should still be functional. I'll just order what I need when I got it done, so that I know what ones I need to order anyway, and we'll get that squared away later on. But this motherboard right here is not one that is being talked about very much. This motherboard actually is called the Asrock Fatality Gaming K6. I see a lot of videos on the Gaming i9 and other ones, but nobody seems to be talking about this Gaming K6 motherboard. And it has every single feature that the Gaming i9 board has, except this one has 11-phase power, and the other one for the i9 has 13-phase power. But you get every single other feature on the other board, and this one is about less than half the price. I think this one was about $250-ish. I'll have to put a link in the description for the video, so you can look at that a little bit more in depth at your own leisure. But it looks like to be a pretty solid motherboard platform for this X299 system. And underneath this EK Supremacy water block with the black aluminum top plate with a plexi, it's got a plexi center in there. Underneath all this, we've got the Intel i7 7800X, which is one of the, like I said, one of the X299 CPUs. This one has 6 cores, 12 threads, with 28 PCIe lanes. So should be a pretty good platform to get it started. It gives me the option to upgrade to an i9 or something similar later on if I choose to, which, you know, probably I will eventually, but I think this will be fine for a while. For the chipset cooling, it's got this cool little gunmetal chevron type design, which I really love the gunmetal color scheme for this, and that's sort of what I went with the build. If you notice the graphics card that I picked, it also goes along with it as well. And we've got the Corsair, sorry, not Corsair, G-Skill Trident Z RGB RAM in there as well. If it will focus, there it goes. The G-Skill Trident Z. And the Trident Z is operating at 3000 megahertz, which I think is pretty darn good. And I found a good deal on that online on Newegg, I think for about $300 for a 32 gigabyte kit. So each one of these are 8 gigabytes a piece. And for cooling, like I said, I've got an EK water block on here, but I went with an EK full configuration loop. We've got the Coolstream 360 thin radiator on the top. It's kind of dark up in there. We've got the EK thin radiator up in here. You can see through some of the cooling fins up there. And what's nice about this case is it still has a ton of room to set up a push-pull configuration for the fans up here. There's still a lot of room between the motherboard and the bottom of the radiator here. So there's plenty of room for that, which I'm thinking about doing actually. But for the pull configuration on the top here, this case has little click locks right there, and it just hinges up over there. So I've got a lot of stuff out here on the table, including my coffee at the moment. These are some EK VRII fans, which they look like they're going to do a pretty decent job to cool the radiator. They came with it. And this little space in here, this little space inside here, was perfect little countersunk area to mount these, so that these don't interfere at all with the space below. That's one of the big reasons that I got this case. It has plenty of room for countersunk fans and the like, just about everywhere you look. Front panel connector. It does have a built-in fan controller with 3 different speeds, low, medium, and high, and I assume maybe an off, or maybe it only goes from low, medium, and high. I haven't gotten to turn it on yet to try that out. Restart, and of course the power button, start stop, which it says, sort of like what you would expect to see in a car. As for storage, build's already gone over budget, so to speak. Still working on what I'm going to do for my display setup. I will need to get at some point a new desktop monitor, at least one. This was a older drive that I had repurposed here. This was actually inside of a Western Digital external, in which I think the controller of it was not working properly. I'll find out when I power the system on if the controller itself wasn't working or if the drive itself has failed. So we'll see. I don't plan on putting anything too critical on here. Maybe some games that I can just re-download on Steam if it all goes, south. But yeah, as far as being able to just throw some games on it to play, nothing, of course, mission critical. Thought I'd try that out. And then this one was a really old drive, which I probably won't leave in here. I just have it in here for looking at. It's actually an IDE drive, of all things. Yeah, I don't really know what I would do with an 80 gigabyte hard drive. That's not much space at all. I just had it laying around and put it into kind of placehold for something else. Possibly I'll go with eventually a couple of 4 terabyte drives or maybe something larger, I don't know yet. And back in here is where I'll be putting 2.5-inch SSDs mounted back in here. Maybe even a 2.5-inch spinning disk drive on the bottom, because there's 3 slots. There's one here, one there, and one down there. But this motherboard itself, it has native support for 3 M.2 drives. You can see M.2 slot number 1 here is populated with a Samsung 950 EVO M.2 SSD, and it should get up to 2600 megabytes per second, which is pretty darn fast. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this content, then consider a subscription so that you stay currently updated with all future releases from Texel Hardware. Also, feel free to send me an email or a Steam invite. I love to play games with people.